All right, friends, we're back. Season 7 and 8. And where we leave off? We left off with being introduced to Negan. Oof. The Saviors weren't anything to play with at this point. Yeah, they met the people of Terminus. They were cannibals. Like, that was just insane, right? But like, Negan really just took people over like with aggression, because you had the communities that were trading and everyone was just giving Negan half, because they were just a group of motherfuckers who weren't with the shits, whereas other people were, most of them just wanted safety or looking to survive. They weren't really trying to be out here. Like, a lot of them wanted normalcy. The people of Alexandria, Hilltop, the Kingdom, they all created some sort of communities that made you feel normal, or what as normal as possible in these, like, post the fall world. But like I said, Negan really kicks it up. It was a little bit slow paced, but where we left off in season 6, and we wanted to know who died, your girl was up. Your girl was up until like 2 a.m. I forgot who died. Like, that left my memory. And I remember feeling that way. Like, I already thought like Glenn had died. You remember like when he falls into like the trash can, not the trash can, well, he was on the dumpster. That's my memory of Glenn dying. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember that happened. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot he didn't actually die. So for, I think him and Maggie like came back together in like season 6, and for him to die at the end, Negan pulling out that bat with the barbed wire, picking off who was gonna die. Crazy work. Absolutely crazy work. And they made us wait. Like, episode 1 of season 7, I thought they would just like play the scene on like who dies. No, they drag us through the mud of Rick losing his fucking mind and going, just kind of like going through it. We had to wait a really long time to like through that episode to figure out who died. Like, that was like really slow paced. They were really dragging it because your girl wanted to know. I wanted to know, and sadly, like I said, it was Glenn and your boy Abraham. He really like brutalized them. And I feel like the show got less brutal as we go on. I feel like it really like kicked itself up between like season 4, 5. And then like it slowed down with like how graphic it got. I don't know if that was intentional. I know like the show is hard to watch for some people, but that was my shit. That was my shit. Had the infamous lineup of everyone out there. He takes out everyone's crying. You don't know who's gonna die. When he takes out Glenn and Abraham again, brutal. It was so sad. Poor Maggie, because your girl held on to that for a really long time. But also, who wouldn't? And that breaks Rick as a leader. That's what we saw him going through the whole trauma, and us just trying to figure that out just in episode 1. They take Daryl. They start psychological warfare, psychological warfare on your boy, playing Easy Street over and over to break him. And I don't know if he was almost there, but he seemed like he was this close. Like, Daryl's holding on for dear life, but he kept refusing to submit. So shout out to Daryl. We love how, he turned things over from like when we first met him to who he became throughout the series. We love that. And with all that, Rick and the gang knew that Negan wasn't something to play with. He was nothing to play with. He had to submit. Your boy had to bend the knee, and they were out scavenging the earth for supplies for Negan. And of course, everyone's sick of it, and they're all still starving. There's low supply out here, and they have to go find somebody and give like half their earnings to somebody else, right? Like paying taxes. I feel you. They rebelled against that all day. Rosita made an attempt to kill your boy and failed. And the cutting of the face that they did, I feel like it wasn't brutal enough. It was like light work, a little scratch. It probably should have been deeper. Like, they took Carl's whole eye out. and like they gave her like this tiny scratch across the face. Like they could have made that a little bit more dramatic, but whatever. She failed at her attempts to kill Negan. We meet other communities. We have Hilltop. I forgot your boy who was running Hilltop, but he was scary. He was scary as fuck. He didn't care what side he was on. Like, he just wanted to live. Very similar to Eugene. Very similar to Eugene. His character also changed throughout, but he was very wishy-washy because, you know, he joined Team Negan. As long as he was alive, like, he didn't care where he was at. Like, not at all. We met the Kingdom and Ezekiel. That was a little weird, but they had a functioning society. And then we also met the scavengers, the trash people. That's where it also started to get a little weird. Like, but I guess wherever you find a refuge in this post-world society, I guess, like, that's cool. I thought the scavengers were a weird bunch of people. Rick tried to put together a collective of people because nobody really wanted to service the saviors, right? Like, no one liked it, but everyone was afraid. Like, they were too scared to fight, essentially. And Rick is always going to try to get somebody, show people to fight. And, like, we need to go to war. We need to fight what we believe in. Yada, you know, that shit that Rick be doing. So, do that. They go into a whole fight. It was looking tragic out here. And then your boy, what's his name? Ezekiel. King Ezekiel had to come with his lion, Tiger. Came through and saved the day. And then we roll over into season 8, and now it's just full on war between the saviors, Rick and the gang. Why don't they have a name? I just call them Rick and the gang, but you got them versus the saviors now in season 8. And as always, there's always somebody on the team who's gonna betray because they don't like servicing you anymore. They don't see the purpose in doing so, what the benefits are. Like, I'm gonna go play for the other side. So shout out to Dwight because he, you know, started to help Rick and the gang to defeat Negan because no one could take it anymore. They weren't here. They weren't trying to be here for Negan shit. Like, they were down. They pulled 2 communities together, combining 3 communities just to go up against like the saviors. Like, that's how much like one group was bullying like multiple groups of people, several groups of people. Like, that manpower or that intimidation is crazy work. And this is where I remember why I stopped watching. The war gets crazy. Everyone is fighting each other. Carl is doing what Carl does best and holding it down while everybody's outside. And your boy Carl gets bit trying to save somebody. Carl, which I also love that because he, you know, he's been doing this for a while, right? Like, he was very young when this all started. And so he was killing people early. My boy had to take out his own moms. He took out his low-key stepdad, Shane. Like, he was prepared for anything and ready to do anything, but he still believed that it could be a good place and that we should help each other out, right? And so he got bit, like, saving someone. And I really liked that, of course. It showed a different like side of Negan, that like he actually, you know, he had a heart because he seemed like very like heartless, and that also showed that he had one. Like, he wrote letters to everybody. Shout out to Carl, like made little things for Judith, which we come to see and to play a little bit after. But Carl dying was sad. I didn't like that he was no longer there. I missed him throughout the rest of the series. And so, you know, that was really sad. Your boy Rick was ready to turn up the war. And so he realized he just got bit by a worker. It wasn't the saviors. And I don't think that Negan would have did that anyway. But whatever, they go to war, and Rick and Negan have their final showdown, right? They're fighting each other, and Rick did some nasty work. He sneak attacked your boy by like appealing to his heart. What did he say? Carl wouldn't want us to be doing this. Facts, true. And then he still decided to slit Negan's throat. Crazy work that he still decided to do that. And Maggie, and of course I'm like, oh, okay, like I didn't know like Negan died. Like, that's crazy. But I knew he didn't die because he's in a spin-off show, so I was just like very confused. And Rick turns around and says, save him. I'm like, Maggie, she could never forgive that. She never forgave that. She never forgave that. But they wanted to use him as a symbol of peace and the communities coming together. The war ended. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, so they wanted to do that to basically help build a new society, and they thought that that would be good in showing mercy because, like I said, Carl really wanted to end the violence, and he did that, but he slit his throat first and then said, okay, wait, like, let's bring peace. I got my shit off, but like, let's bring peace. And but no, your girl Maggie wanted death. What are your thoughts? Do you think that, what would you have done? I mean, I think that I would have just did it just for like all the smoke, the drama, the chaos that you've caused us all. Yeah, but I don't know if they would have continued. So like the saviors, like if letting Negan die, how, you know, would they have continued to go to war? Would they have just decided like, you know, it is what it is, we're free now? I don't know. What are your thoughts? Would you have made the same decision? Like your boy Carl dying, like I said, he was built for this life. Negan said it too. Like he was made for this post world. He was about that. It really affected them both. And I liked keeping Negan, like the character, into play, but like, would you have let him live? What would you have done if that was you? Let me know your thoughts on season 7 and 8. I thought both of them were, season 7, you know, I thought that they were both like really good seasons. Like I said, the saviors, that group, like they were badasses, and I think that they were my favorite group of people. Still, those are my thoughts after my rewatch, and season 9 is where we get into where all of that is like fresh new content. So the last 3 seasons are, I've never rewatched them, so wait to hear my thoughts. Let me know what your thoughts of those 2 seasons are. What's your favorite season and your favorite antagonist of The Walking Dead? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share with your friends. Bye.